What's going on, people? Machiavelli Mills TV. So look, I just watched Roger Goodell, the NFL commissioner. I watched his this apology video that he created to the players and for not taking peaceful protests seriously in the first place. He offered condolences to Breonna Taylor, to the families of Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, and George Floyd in this video. He also said other things that were very, very profound and ironic to me, right? He said, "We, the NFL, condemn racism and the systematic oppression of black people." He also went on and said, "We, the National Football League, admit that we were wrong for not listening to NFL players." I wonder, does that include Colin Kaepernick? Right? He said, "And we encourage all to speak out and peacefully protest." Well, damn, since when do you all encourage people to peacefully protest police brutality? Since when? I wonder how long that's been going on, right? Oh, and let's not forget, he said, "We, the National Football League, believe Black Lives Matter. And without black players, there would be no NFL." Well, duh, right? And when I heard all of this, y'all, I kid you not, when I heard all of this, the first thing I'm thinking is, there is no way I'm buying none of what Roger Goodell's saying. I'm not buying it at all. When the NFL commissioner gave this speech, it sounded like nothing but damage control to me. It didn't seem genuine at all, and it seems that Roger Goodell and some of the other NFL owners are just they're fearful of being on the wrong side of history at this current moment, right? They don't want to be on the wrong side of history. They don't want to be those guys. And now at this very moment, they regret their consistent efforts to silence Colin Kaepernick over and over again, right? I just think back to the 2016-2017 NFL season, right? I remember it like yesterday. I was in graduate school at the time. That is when Colin Kaepernick first began his peaceful protest method of kneeling, and to bring awareness to police brutality against black people and other people of color, right? And I remember during that season, there were many owners and players that condemned Colin Kaepernick and called him anti-American. They said he was embracing victim mentality, and he was a lot of the systematic oppression he was talking about was a figment of black people's imagination. And how dare he talk about being oppressed people when he's making all his money, even though he was never calling himself oppressed. Duh, dumbasses. He was just talking about the plight of his people, right? But I remember all those sentiments that were being expressed to him, all those negative things that were being expressed about him, right? And it's so funny now that after the league tried to blackball Colin Kaepernick for having those same exact sentiments that Roger Goodell is expressing now they all on board. Now the NFL owners and the NFL and Roger Goodell are all on board now at this current time in the country. How ironic, right? Come on, man. Roger Goodell and the NFL are nothing but a bunch of hypocrites right now, right? Now they view kneeling as a positive thing now. Now it's positive after they blackballed Colin Kaepernick for the last, 3 to 4 years? Come on, man. That don't even sound right. That don't even sound right. So now you telling me the commissioner and the NFL is all in favor. They're all in support of peaceful protests. And they believe Black Lives Matter right now? And they encourage protesting now? Of course Roger Goodell and the NFL, of course they're coming around now. Of course they are coming around now. Simply because Roger Goodell and the NFL have no other choice right now. They don't have no choice. They don't have no choice but to come around and support the movement right now. Right? Because right now, at this very moment in America, or in the world, period, he and the NFL will be villainized for pushing back against their black players' sentiments about racism and their players' right to protest. And Roger Goodell knows that. He's a very smart man. He knows that him and the NFL and his organization and the owners would be vilified if they push back against Black Lives Matter. Right? Come on, man. If they push back against the NFL players' right to protest police brutality, they will be viewed as highly unfavorable. And Roger Goodell doesn't want him or his league to be viewed as public enemy number one. That's the last thing he wants. Roger Goodell realized that publicity stunt with Jigga Man, with Jay-Z. He realized it didn't pan out too well, and now he wants to apologize. But y'all know something? Ironically, when Jay-Z said that we were past kneeling, Roger Goodell sure wasn't apologizing then. He wasn't apologizing when Jigga said we were past kneeling and we got to move on to something else. He wasn't apologizing then. But now he's doing it, right? Because he know that the world is all on one accord for the most part right now. And it's just so crazy to me that after the NFL vilified, silenced, and dismissed Colin Kaepernick, now they're in support of everything he was standing for, because the world saw that video of George Floyd getting murdered by that police officer, right? And the world has been put on notice about police brutality against black people. Everybody had to stop and watch that 8-minute video of that man being murdered, calling out for his mother in fear of his life, saying that he can't breathe. The same words that Eric Garner said in New York when he was choked out for selling loose cigarettes in New York, right? When they saw that video, the climate in America changed. And the climate in America right now, if you don't condemn racism and speak out in support of Black Lives Matter, you could risk losing money. Right, as a business, you can lose all the money that your business earned. And to me, Roger Goodell and the NFL owners are trying to protect their money. They're trying to protect their money. For real, they need to protect their bottom line. And also, Roger Goodell and the NFL owners don't want those stadiums getting torched either. They don't want them stadiums being burned up at all. So now they coming out and supporting. He making this video and having this kumbaya moment at the very moment, right? And well, in my opinion, you know, because Roger Goodell don't want to lose no money, the NFL still may lose some money. They still may lose bread, because in that very video, because for real, there are some extremely racist NFL fans who are probably appalled that Roger Goodell acknowledged the elephant in the room in that video, right? He acknowledged the S word in that video. And that S word is systematic oppression of black people, right? You know, that word, that thing that racist non-black people say, that racist non-black people say is a figment of black people's imagination. Oh, systemic oppression is something that's made up. It's something that's in your mind. It's made up. Everybody has an equal chance in this country. Pick yourself up by the bootstraps. Well, how the hell can a person that with no boot pick themselves up by the bootstraps? A person with no boot can't do that. So hold on. Y'all telling me systemic oppression don't exist? Yeah, a lot of people ain't gonna like Roger Goodell using that word in that video, right? But look, man, don't get me wrong. Getting $1 billion corporation that has ignored the plight, the black American plight for so long, like the NFL, to speak out against police brutality, whether genuine or not, is still huge. It's a big deal. It's huge, right? But for me, those are nothing but empty words from Roger Goodell. I will believe Roger Goodell when a few other things happen first. You know what I mean? And first, I want Roger Goodell to acknowledge that the NFL was wrong for not listening to Colin Kaepernick specifically. I want them to say his name. Yes, say his name outright and apologize to that man for blackballing him. They have to say that. They got to come out and say his name. Don't pussyfoot around it. Don't try to get around from saying his name. We didn't listen to players that, you know, were in favor of peaceful protests. No, say Colin Kaepernick's name outright. Because anything short of that is just window dressing to me, right? Making the apology look good without being direct and apologizing to the man that started the silent protest in the first place. The guy that started the peaceful protest against police brutality and lost his job because of it, right? If you don't acknowledge him, them words don't mean a damn thing at all. I don't care what nobody say. It don't mean nothing if you don't acknowledge Colin Kaepernick, right? The NFL owners and Roger Goodell knew that Cap was right all along. They knew he was right the whole time. They just don't want to say his name and apologize to him because they recognize it will be an admission of guilt for blackballing him, and it will make them look foolish. So they don't want to say his name at all. They want to get around it. And Roger Goodell, we should have listened to players who started to silent protest or who started the peaceful protest or whatever. Players, come on, say his name, Colin Kaepernick. Address Eric Reed as well, Kenny Stills and other individuals, but specifically say the guy that y'all took out of a job, Colin Kaepernick, right? The national broadcast and print media, I watched them for the longest try to create a narrative about Colin Kaepernick not being that good. He ain't that good. That's why he not playing. He ain't that good. But as I mentioned in other videos before, there is no way on God's green earth that you can make a case that Colin Kaepernick should not have a job in the NFL. I'm not even talking about a starting job, but he can't be a backup at all? You telling me he can't be a backup at all when you got bums like TJ Yates, Matt McGloin, Blaine Gabbert, and Blake Bortles getting deals like a mug? deals out like after being terrible. They keep getting signed, and Cap didn't get one offer, not even as a backup. Fam, do that even sound right? That's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. In order for Roger Goodell words to mean something significant to me, I want to see some donations made to ailing black communities that these same NFL players come from. I want to see donations made to the families of the victims of police brutality, or money donated to the money donated to organizations dedicated to fighting against racial injustices and police brutality against black people. I want to see more black individuals be seriously considered for NFL jobs within organizations like GM, general manager, and coaching positions. And I also want Colin Kaepernick to have a job in the NFL when it's all said and done, right? I want those type of things. And I know I just saw that the NFL pledges $250 million for over 10 years to combat systemic racism, right? But my thing is, anybody can pledge to give money, right? Anybody can pledge to give money. I just want to see the NFL actually do what they say they're going to do and put their money where their mouth is. That's all I want to see. Furthermore, I want to know, where is this $250 million that they are pledging to give actually going? Will it be going back? Will it be going to black schools? Will it be going to legal bills for the families who were affected by these tragedies, by police brutality? Will it be going to black scholarship foundations? Will it be going to black loans, etc.? I want to know, because I would hate for the NFL to do what Dak Prescott did and give the $250 million to the police for proper training to take out racial prejudice and bias and all of that. Like, come on, fam. Why do you need to keep funding the police when they out here with military weapons and they got Call of Duty weapons and artillery on the street outside? Come on, man. Well, how much money do they need? So I hope they ain't giving it to the police. You know what I mean? And try to put that in a whole, hey, we giving back to the cause type of situation. No. We want to know where those funds are going. Where exactly is this money going? And I want to know who will be verifying what's really being donated opposed to what's being said will be donated. You know what I mean? I want to know what's really being donated opposed to what's being said will be donated, right? And for real, this whole apology from Roger Goodell just seemed like a whole bunch of fake love from him, right? Just like that fake love that Pete Carroll is now giving Colin Kaepernick right now, saying that he regrets not signing him in 2017, when back then he was talking about, he was too good to be a backup and all that. What the hell? Come on, man. Like, you should let Colin Kaepernick be the person to decide if he don't want a backup job or not. For real, like, come on, man. What most NFL teams would love to have a superior talent on their bench, just in case their starting guy gets injured, they can pick up right where they left off and they won't miss a beat. So all that, like, I'm looking like Pete Carroll, get him up out of here too. Get him up out of here, right? Also, there are many black former players who need to apologize to Colin Kaepernick as well immediately. Specifically, clowns like Ray Lewis, Marcellus Wiley, and all that, Marcelo Wiley, all, like, for real. They need to be talked about. They need to be put on notice, right? Because it's funny. All this time, I knew when time had passed, Colin Kaepernick in the position that he took would look more admirable and favorable, and people would begin to recognize that Colin Kaepernick was on the right side of history the entire time, while he was being villainized, ostracized, and left out in the wind. He got left out in the wind deliberately, right? It's so crazy, man. But boy, I tell you, how the tide turns. It's so funny how the tables turn and the universe shifts right now. And everything, and look, Colin Kaepernick, everything he was talking about is proven to be right. And his name is now being looked at in a favorable light. And I'm happy about that. But Roger Goodell, that apology, that was BS. You know that. You know that. Ain't no, man, come on, fam. Nobody buying that for real. We really think you really sorry and all that. Come on, man. For that ain't nothing. I don't believe that at all. It's damage control to me. Nothing but damage control. Right? And I don't buy it at all. Hell no. No way. It don't seem genuine at all. So, Roger Goodell can miss me with that until he does some of those things that I stated in this video. Machiavelli Mills TV. Thank y'all for watching. Peace.